US President Donald Trump has signed 4 executive orders that will reshape the military. The first establishes a US Iron Dome missile defence system. The second targets diversity, equity and inclusion programmes, banning them in the military. A third order reinstates over 8,000 service members discharged for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. And the fourth and final order addresses the military's stance on transgender service members, reversing policies from the previous administration. New President Donald Trump emphasised these actions are necessary to strengthen the US military and maintain its global leadership. Joining us first, we have our correspondent Aditya Wadwan. Aditya, we're really looking here at Donald Trump turning the screw on military reforms. What do you think that the impact might be on this?
Well, Josh, this is, as we know, that Donald Trump is, is known for making such, unprecedented decisions. In the last term also, what we saw, he announced a flurry of unprecedented decisions, and in this term too, he has already signed a flurry of executive orders. Now, as far as the military is concerned, he has banned the transgenders from entering into the US military, and this will, he has made some changes to the diversity, inclusivity, and this might have, this will make, this will definitely, alter how the US military operates, their day-to-day functioning, what composition of how many males and females are there in the US military, that will be impacted by this Donald Trump's decision. And as far as the Iron Dome is concerned, we already know that, Israel also has this Iron Dome built in it, and, the similar, and, Donald Trump is known to be absolutely pro-Israel. So, he has been of the view that he has to make America great again. He has been also saying that let's make America safe again. So this is a very sort of an inward policy what Donald Trump is, following at the moment. He has signed his executive order to, to build this Iron Dome. In his last term, he had also been very insistent upon building a wall with a border of Mexico. So, he has been he's known for taking such protectionist stuff, when it comes to the security of the United States of America. And this will we can expect further also that he might take such protectionist decisions in the future going forward. Yes, George, back to you in the studios.
Also joining us on this discussion, we have Ambassador Suresh K. Goel, who is a former diplomat. Ambassador Goel, we're really looking here at if Trump brings in a Iron Dome missile defence system. We're looking at such a broad country. Israel, of course, in size is so much smaller. How do you think financially and feasibly Trump will be able to carry that out?
My mind boggles. I really just can't imagine the scale, the magnitude of such a decision. I really can't imagine. Even in the case of Israel, the Iron Dome that they use is really quite expensive, and it requires a great deal of coverage. And therefore, I don't think that I'm able to even imagine the extent of money involved really. But then, as was said before, President Trump, he is very unconventional. He is very, very, shall I say, unpredictable. And I'm not quite sure whether he will not actually go ahead with this decision and implement it, even if it is not fulfilled entirely during his term. So let us see. But I cannot really think of what it is going to cost and what it is going to do. First of all, I don't even know whether you need an Iron Dome for the whole of the USA. Israel does it because Israel is surrounded by the Arab countries. The scale is rather less. The missile path covers that much. No missile can really enter into the interior of the USA without really coming to the borderlands first. And therefore, I really don't know. Unimaginable.
Ambassador Goel, just picking off the back of that, we're looking at a country in Israel that has adversaries all around it. We know It's surrounded by countries that it's been conflicting with, and Iran-backed proxies that it sees as a risk. So the Iron Dome, therefore, seems more logical, but for the US, an impending strike on its territory isn't something that currently seems likely. Do you think that this is Trump potentially signalling towards an adversary which might want to attack the US directly?
Who can that be? Are we thinking of Russia? Are we thinking of China? If that happens, I'm sure that that the distances are so huge. Even Iranian missiles to reach Israel, it takes some time. By that time, and they have got their own defensive measures, by the time the missiles even reach anywhere near USA, Trump would have enough warning, really. And therefore, in the case of the likely adversaries, I do not know how needed the Iron Dome would be or how effective will Iron Dome be. As I said, this is a new concept, completely a new thought in the case of the USA, and therefore one requires more time.
Also joining us on this discussion is Rabinder Sachdev, a foreign affairs expert. Rabinder, we're looking back now towards the US, and I want to focus on these military executive orders that he's looking to bring in and will be bringing in. Firstly, the topics of transgender, the topics of DEI are things that are very divisive within the states, but of course his supporters are supporters of him for reasons like these, where they back these opinions of his. Do you think that this potentially could cause even more of a rift in the states with people so divided on the topics?
Interesting. Yeah, it would cause more rift. People were anticipating, steps like these by Trump. But Trump has been unleashing, these executive orders by the dozens every day. The issue is that the Trump agenda, the MAGA agenda, has been very clear about it. And also, more so over, the Trump team and the think tanks of the Republican Party, especially, you may remember the Project 2025, they have hundreds of memos ready on all such topics, which Trump could virtually pick and choose a la carte from the menu, right? So these orders have been drafted and many more will be coming already by the Trump team and his advisors. It's a matter of now which one of these orders or of the many orders, not only related to DEI, transgender policies and all related to abortion, something should be coming soon, and many other aspects, the military, DEI, and many, many others, education, school education, patriotic curriculum in the schools, many of these would be coming up swiftly in the coming days for the reason that the Trump administration this time is prepared, not only much better prepared from its experience of the first term, but secondly, they've done their homeworks, drafted out these memos, and they've also prepared the counter to the legal challenges, because all of these orders that Trump is issuing, I think probably almost all of them would be facing lawsuits and challenges in various courts by various either non-profits, agencies, or trade unions, or employee unions, or departments themselves. So the Trump teams have not only drafted these memos, they've also prepared the counter or what they think the legal challenge would come and how they would respond in a court of law on those. So we can anticipate more of them. So essentially, all of these 8,000 reinstated who were, due to COVID non-compliance, dismissed or suspended, transgender only male and female in the army, no else, and all such policies halted. The DEI department, not only the policy of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but the very departments which handle these matters, which are staffed by, if not hundreds, yes, hundreds and dozens of professionals in these fields, their department has been completely eliminated.
Yes.
Okay.
Rabinder,
so this we will see.
Sorry to interrupt. We're running short of time. I just want to focus on something you mentioned there, and the fourth and final executive order relating to the troops that will be returning to duty. 8,000 of them who decided not to get the COVID-19 vaccine. One, this is a stance from Trump that we saw during his first term, where he was very much against vaccinations, but also it could be a boost to the American military with such a big influx of troops at one point.
I'm sorry, I lost you for few seconds in between. Could you kindly repeat the question?
No problem. I just want your opinion and want you to discuss Trump's continuation on the theme of the COVID-19 vaccines we saw, of course, during his first term. And then I would like you to move on to the discussion around an influx of 8,000 troops at once and what impact that might have on the military.
It would, Trump's attempt is to create a military which he thinks and which his base wants to be a masculine military. Masculine, that's what they want, right? And of course, no issues on the spectrum of genders, only male, female. Now, as to the issue of COVID, I think we will see more of it coming up as Robert F. Kennedy gets to take charge as the health secretary. There will be a slew of orders on those counts already. Let us just wait and see. Already they've ordered the CDC to halt any communication with the WHO, right? Because they've withdrawn from the WHO. So immediate stop to any interaction between the CDC and WHO. And there would be other, diktats. These are diktats essentially, right? Coming out from the White House relating to vaccines even. But the issue is that all of these, most of these are going to be challenged in the courts. Some will, some will remain. Some where the Trump teams lose, they will again come back. They will create some other strategy and stratagems. As I said, they already have multiple plan A, B, C if their executive orders are challenged. So they'll come back. They will keep at it perennially on their agenda.
Yes, Ravinder Sachdev and Ambassador Goel, thank you for joining us.